Chris Chinnock here in the JVC booth here at NAB 2014. We're going to talk about some of their 4K imaging products today. In back of me is actually their 84-inch display, which is showing some content acquired from one of these imagers that was put on a handcrafted one of these helicopter mounts and flew around this temple. So that's a nice little background anyway. So what's interesting about what JVC is doing is they're moving upscale basically. Let's see, in 2011 they bought a company called AltaSense. AltaSense makes imagers, and in fact, so they've basically become a vertically integrated company with imagers, manufacturing within the company, and the ability to make these camcorders cameras as well. So they're going to focus on three new products that they're talking about here at the show that will all be based on a super 35mm sensor. So that's basically a kind of a 16:9 aspect ratio sensor that will have actually more than 4K resolution. It can do full Pro 4K resolution as well as UHD resolution, but with some extra pixels around the edges for various purposes. At the top end of the line, they're also changing their strategy a bit. They're going to produce a very professionally oriented camera product that will retail for about almost $20,000. That's again a big departure for JVC, whose top-of-the-line product right now sells for about $10,000. So this is going to be a pro-based, high-end pro-based product that will be probably the end of 2014, early 2015 is what they were saying. It will have the record device for is going to be an HD XHX smart card record card, which is the new SD card with the high data rate. I don't remember exactly what that data rate is, but it's going to be as fast as it can go at this point. They are talking to Apple about adding a ProRes capability as well. But that typically requires a higher data rate than you can get with the SD card, so those discussions are ongoing. It can record 4K at 60 frames. There's also going to be a wireless capability for this product. It's an existing wireless transfer capability that JVC has, but will now be available to transport supposedly 4K 60 frame content wirelessly. So that will be interesting. This will take, I think that's about it on this one. The second one that they have is more of a economy version of the same product. This will be more of a kind of a handheld camcorder product. This is the GYLS-X2. Now, this one will have things like autofocus and image stabilization on it. And the trade-off for adding that computing complexity is now the 4K recording drops only 24 or 30 frames per second. But it does have a series of now smaller standard lens mounts. These are the MFT lens mounts. They're in partnership with Olympus on that. The larger one has the PL lens mount series. So what they're trying to do is use standard lens mount capabilities so you can source lenses from various manufacturers. Same SD HDX recording capability, but if you want to do external recording on this one, you'd have to use an HDMI based record device, an HDMI 2.0. I guess you could do 1.4 if you need it, because it's only 30 frame. For the professional, the top of the line model, you have 4 HD SDI outputs to go to an Asia Key Pro, for example, as an external recorder. And then the third product they're showing is the GW SPL S1. That again takes the same super 35mm sensor and puts it in a very tiny little box, and then as a proprietary cable goes to an outboard record and display device. It's got a 7-inch little screen. This can also, and that cable can be about 20 meters long. And this is kind of targeted for more industrial or commercial applications, medical, machine vision, or it can be mounted on a flying gimbal device, which is what's captured this images in back of us here. And it's also, very interestingly, good for 3D because there's a Genlock capability. So you can have put these two two of these cameras in a beam splitter rig, and then use the cables back to this control device and put them in places that normal 3D cameras really can't go. So that I don't have a pricing on that, but all this stuff should be available toward the end of the year. That's pretty much the story in the 4K imaging here in JVC. Chris Chinnock for Display Central.